If you've had hand surgery, I'm going to share with you my 5 essential tips after hand surgery. Hand surgeries are happening every day, and I want to talk about it in general versus like a real specific type of injury. But these are 5 essential tips that I share with my patients every single day, and I'm an occupational therapist, certified hand therapist. My name is Huang, and I treat people with hand and arm injuries. And we do a fair share of hand injuries that require surgery. Here are my 5. I'm going to list them and I'm going to share with you in detail. So one of the first things is open your fingers. Everyone's trying to make you make a fist, and I totally get it. But believe me, opening your fingers will help you make a better fist in less time and less pain. Open your fingers, do your exercises frequently, and do them correctly. You might be doing stuff, but if you're not doing it correctly, you're gonna stall out your rehab, and it's gonna cause you to have more problems for longer and need even more therapy. Number 4 is massage your fingers or your hand in the right way. And then number 5 is don't use a ball. Instead, use a rubber band. I'm going to show you all those things. So as a certified hand therapist, I see a lot of you can have a finger fracture, you can have a sprain or strain, you can have a thumb injury, you can have a trigger finger, you name it. If your hand hurts, let's get to the bottom of it. One of the reasons why I say you got to open your hands is because one of the things I've seen over the last 25 years is a lot of people, when they can't make a fist, they sit in the middle. So they're neither able to make a fist nor open all the way. So they have a tendency to sit right here. And then their doctors and their therapists are saying, make a fist, make a fist. Get it? And you're like, I'm trying. And so you sit in the middle there. So you want to make sure you open your fingers. Like my fingers are freakishly stretchy. So think about how your fingers are and just open them really, really wide. And why? Because when you open them, you're going to stretch all of these muscles and tendons that are the ones that help you to make a fist. So if you open your fingers really, really wide, it's going to help you. By opening also, you want to make sure that these knuckles, these middle knuckles, get straight. You want to be able to push on them and feel bouncy and feel no pain, and they feel really good, okay? Number 2 is you want to do your exercises frequently. Everyone's always asking me, Huang, how often should I do them? Well, how fast do you want to recover? So if you're only doing it like 2 or 3 times, like sometimes my patients will come in and be like, Juanita, I only do it like once a day. I'm like, okay, that's all right. If that's all you want to do, then you're gonna be with me for a long time. If you can do them more often, one of my rule of thumb is I always say do them every 2 hours. Now, if you're going to therapy and you're going there and you're spending an hour, what you can do, you're not spending an hour on them, you're just going to spend less than 5 minutes to do some of your exercises. But if you do them frequently, like every 2 hours throughout the day that you're awake, then you're going to compound all that time. So it's 1 minute here, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes here. And over that period of time, you're going to see better and faster results, because guess what? If you have surgery, it's very easy for your fingers to get really stiff really fast. So by doing something every 2 hours, you can commit to essentially keeping them warm, right? Keeping them warm, keeping them as flexible as possible. And then over a period of time, incrementally, you're just going to get better and better. So do your exercises frequently. Now, I do know that every 2 hours is unrealistic to a certain extent, but I say every 2 hours because it will embed into your brain that you need to do it often, right? So that's the thing. You need to do it often. So the more often you can do it, the better. Now, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right, because why are we wasting our time? So whatever your exercises are that your therapist might have given you, then figure out how to do them correctly. I'll tell you, one of the things that I share with my patients all the time is I want them, if I'm trying to get them to do what's called a hook fist, I always teach my patients to do it with their other hand in between so that it can hold their big knuckles straight. And then they're going to curl their little knuckles in, right? So this is called a hook fist. Now, I used to also teach it where you just put your hands here like this, so you see under the line. So you see wherever you have creases in your hand, that's where your joint bends, right? So you see those lines, you can put your finger right under there and then you can curl it down. What happens though is you can't help it. You try so hard so the big knuckles come down. Don't try so hard. It's better to get good quality reps in versus like a bunch of reps that are like not good quality. So keep the big knuckles straight and curl the little knuckles in. Even if you can't go that far, even if you're right here, at least this part is there, right? And then there are other exercises that you can do. That's just one example. Another example might be, hey, you got to isolate and open it up. So we spend a lot of time curling the middle and little knuckles down, but what about making them go straight? So your thumb comes into your palm, your fingers wrap around your big knuckle, and now they're keeping it bent. And then you can see how I'm trying to open my fingers, right? Open this part right here. That is another exercise. So if you're not being intentional, deliberate, or doing your exercises correctly, then you're not doing them well. And so you're not going to see the results. And then you're going to think, well, I don't need to do this so frequently, but you do. All right. It's just about learning, because I'm a hand therapist. I do this shit all the time. I've been doing this for 25 years. So of course it looks easy. Of course it doesn't hurt me. And of course I know what I'm doing, right? But you have not done this. You have not been seeing this for the last 25 years. You don't see over and over every day this type of problem. And so it's okay that you don't know how to do it exactly right. That's why you go to therapy. Go to your therapist. And if they don't know how to teach you, or they don't know what I'm talking about, share my video with them and say, Juanita says this. Well, that's what they call me in Miami, but you can call me Juan. Juan says this, and you can share my video with them. But doing your exercises correctly is really important. And it's something that I focus on with my own patients, because I'm like, you only see me for 1 hour 3 times a week, if you're lucky. Right? If you're lucky. So the 277 hours that you're not with me, you want to do them well, right? As well as you can. So part of therapy is about practicing that. So just do them correctly, as correct as you can, and just keep going it over and over and over with your therapist. Massaging your fingers the correct way. This is really important too. I know that a lot of therapists will be like, just massage coming down because your finger is swollen. Yeah, it is swollen, but swelling is the last thing to go away. People, like my patients, focus on it all the time, and I can tell in my comments, y'all, people focus on it too. But you will have swelling in your fingers until you can move it properly, right? Swelling that goes up and down and up and down, that's actually a good kind of swelling, versus a swelling that's constantly there that doesn't move. That type of swelling is a hardened swelling, and there's a lot of scar underneath that you can't see, okay? So if your swelling goes up and down, yes, that's a good sign. So let's make sure we're moving our fingers correctly, so that, and fully, so that you can get rid of the swelling. So massaging your fingers isn't just about, bringing the edema down your hand to your heart, right? I used to say that. Probably all your therapists say that. Here's my take on it. Here's Huang's take on it. Massage in the direction that feels really good. So if you massage coming up or you massage coming down, which direction feels really good for you? Because it's whatever direction your body, your finger needs for the injury that you have. If I massage coming up, guess what? I'm moving the skin, I'm moving the tendons in the direction that it needs to go. If I'm on this side now, when I perform therapy, my manual techniques to my patients, I have 2 hands, I'm working on their hand, right? So I'm combining a lot of techniques when I'm working with them. You only have 1 hand to work on your other hand. So give yourself some grace, right? Work on one side, you can work on the other side, right? And don't forget, we have sides. We have a lot of tendons, a lot of structures, and skin, right, that move on the side. So you can massage the sides as well. Does it like going down? Does it feel good going up? Does it feel good going side to side? Even just twisting it one direction, twisting it in the other direction. And you can massage your finger more correctly. Is it this knuckle that we're working on? Is it the little knuckle? Is it the middle knuckle? They all have their little nuances. And so that's why it's so important for you to work with your therapist in order to be able to massage correctly. But this is one of the things that I work with my patients. And then I also teach this to other therapists, because I go around and teach my manual therapy technique to therapists that follow me. So that's number 4. That's the 4th essential tip. Now the 5th essential tip is to not use a ball. especially after surgery. So here's what happens after hand injuries and after hand surgery. You're at a high risk to developing trigger finger. Now your surgery might be because you have trigger finger and now they released it. Now you technically don't have trigger finger anymore, but constantly grabbing and squeezing onto a ball causes your intrinsic muscles, the muscles that inside your hand, to get tighter and tighter and tighter. And so it causes a lot of hand pain. It causes you not to be able to open your fingers all the way. It's just kind of problematic. So instead of squeezing a ball, use a rubber band. And I call these donuts because I use their putty to make these donuts, but we're gonna just use a rubber band. So basically just gonna put it around your fingers. I always say go like this, right? Go like that. Put the rubber band around the outside of your finger, and then you're gonna open. Now, sometimes people open with these knuckles straight, so it's a little hard to open. I would encourage you to open it with these little knuckles a little bit on the bend. So you're going like this. You're going rah, rah. And that's going to help to strengthen and use the muscles in your hand differently so it can balance out. So don't just use a ball. And if you're gonna use a ball because you can't help yourself, because your doctors are telling you, your therapists are telling you, I'm gonna tell you, that could be the thing that's causing you to have so much pain. That could be the thing that kind of keeps your fingers and your hand stuck in a really tight position. If you insist on using a ball, just make sure you end with making donuts or opening up with rubber bands. Okay, those are my 5 essential tips on what you can do to help save your hand after hand surgery, recover in a shorter period of time, get rid of your pain. Hand injuries are a lot more complex, and so I would recommend, even though I hope that these videos that I'm making are educational and informative, I really do hope you find an occupational therapist or a certified hand therapist out there that specializes in treating hand and arm types of injuries. If you're in the Miami, Florida, my link's below, and if you want to share this with your therapist, by all means, go ahead, and thank you.